are. So
Okay.
it is AGL.
And the rate altimeter would just, I guess,
Yep,
pick it up.
it should pick it up.
Right.
Um, but we don't use altitude, right? My company, we use flaps. Flaps set it.
Okay.
Um, and at this stage, anything between flaps 1 and 5 for takeoff, it's going to be flaps 1 there. It's going to be climb flaps 1. That's what it's going to say.
Oh, okay.
If we have flaps 15 or flaps 20 for takeoff, it's going to say climb flaps 5. So when we get to flaps 5, when we select flaps 5, the engines will automatically go into climb thrust.
Okay, I see what you mean. That's cool. The
Yeah.
FMC set up that way in yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. That's how it's set up.
I
Where
wonder
this
if I can change
company,
that.
whoever it is, they just have an altitude of 1,500 feet.
Right.
So 1,500 feet above the airport elevation, the engine goes into climb thrust.
You think that's a good number for right now, or should I make it
Yeah,
2,500?
that's
Or
fine.
that's
That's a
fine.
good
Okay.
number. Yeah, it's fine. And then
I'm just
here,
gonna quickly enter in this because there's no slope runways in B3D. So zero all the time.
actually in real life, we never do.
Oh,
We
you never do it either?
Nope.
Okay.
Because it knows what the slope is from the runway, from the departure runway.
Okay.
It gets that data from the departure runway.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that either.
Yep.
Smart
So
airplane.
we, in real life, in fact, the only thing we do here is the condition. So if it's wet, you put wet here. You put /wet. This can screw everything up because if you don't put wet now, and you input all your data, and you realize, oh my God, it's actually wet.
Yeah.
It will delete everything,
And they gotta redo it.
and you got to redo everything. Okay. So at this stage, the only thing we will do is dry is fine for now, right?
Yeah, I think it's pretty dry.
Yeah. Okay. So you're done with the basic setup of the FMC. So the first thing we did was we'll push the route. All right. You go to the next page. Oh no, route.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Next page, yeah. Check we check the route that's in there against the flight plan,
Right.
right? So now we're gonna work our way left to right. Okay. So
Okay.
now push a depart arrival. Select the runway and the SID.
Oh, I'll have to get the wind real quick. Variable at 3. Okay.
You can pick any runway you want.
Da, 16 left.
Yeah.
The SID I've completely forgot what I'm supposed to use, so I'll just leave the SID out for now, but if you were doing it, you'd pick a SID, obviously.
Okay. My God, 4 pages of SIDs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most airports in the U.S. are getting really
This one
bad.
looks familiar, so I'll do that one.
Okay. You execute. Boom, and hit the route button. Yep. So now again, you put it in. You want to check runway 16 left, and then next page. Okay. Yep. The con 4 departure. And then this is where if you need to tidy it up, you tidy it up. Because
So I
we don't.
can just bring it up here.
There we go. Yep. We don't normally take off with discontinuities. Right,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Alright. Alright. So that's good.
Here's a question.
Again,
Do
working left to right.
you guys, when you're setting this up now, do you estimate your runway arrival, or you leave that till the descent phase?
We actually don't do the arrival until after takeoff.
Okay.
Unless I'm sitting in Hong Kong and I'm going to Taipei, or I'm going from Hong Kong to Manila, short flights, and I know what runway they're gonna be using,
Right.
then I'll put it in. Right. But normally I'm doing LA Hong Kong. No, we don't touch that until you get into cruise.
Okay, that makes sense, because obviously the weather's going to
Yeah.
change.
but on short legs you will.
Okay.
Okay, so again, working left to right, alternate page. Right now, there's nothing to do really. So, um, I mean, we know there's nothing there for us, right? so,
Yeah, I'll
so
request
we,
Caden.
yeah.
This is a
go
no
go
more
to
flight.
VNAV page. All right. Now on the VNAV page, you want to go to the previous page. You hit previous page, and here we go to the forecast. And this is where I request the winds.
Okay. Yeah, actually, it already said request sent. Does it do that automatically for you? You have to press request.
We press request
Okay.
winds, request, and this is where I do it. Some guys would do it in the Lex page, but I do it here.
Okay.
Yep. And then I'll check my transition level.
So I think 18,000 is pretty much standard. I don't have the charts right now.
Yeah,
But
North America is 18,000. It's fine because other parts of the world it's different. Hong Kong going down it's 11, coming up it's 9,000.
okay.
So it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
going to the levels is 9,000 feet. Coming down to the altitudes 11,000 feet. So we're done with the VNAV page. Now the fixed page. Now sometimes you know if you have a departure, a sit or something that says, like in Chicago, I forgot what it is, but within 5 nautical miles of the airport, make sure you're at this set altitude, right?
right.
You have to be above 3,000 feet. Well, lots of guys would do that here. Say they'll put ORD in the fixed page, and then they'll put /3/6, just to remind them. It'll be a nice circle around the airport once we take off. So you'll see where it is. Slash. There we go. Yep, that's it. Otherwise, you just leave it blank. And some guys at this stage will also put in the altitude button our MSA. Now, my airline is really crazy about hitting mountains and stuff. So
Yeah, that's a nice crazy to be.
yeah. So out of LA, it's mostly we take off, we head towards the north, which is the mountains. It's 7,700 feet. So we'll put 7,700 feet in there.
Oh, okay.
It's a nice thing because it reminds you. Well, on the ND, it will say 7,700 feet. It'll tell you when you will get there.
It'll
right?
say somewhere in the green
Yeah.
circle.
Yeah. Once you're on the departure, let's say you're at you pass Humpy or whatever.
Yeah.
It will say 7,000 feet where you're gonna reach 7,000 feet
Oh, okay.
in your climb. That's where it will
Actually,
put it.
I'll just put like 12,000 just for, let's see.
Yeah.
Because we're already at 6 or something like that here.
Yep. Down here.
120.
6 right. 6.
Oh, 6 right.
Yep. Put 12,000.
The full thing? Okay.
Yeah. One more. There we go. Yep. That's it. So it won't show you right now. It's actually live. So once you start actually climbing, that's when it will put it on the ND.
Make it a 10-mile ring.
Yep. Cool. All right. So back to the Lex page now. We'll go.
Sorry, let's just do that because just for later. Legs page.
Yep. So now we're done with the fixed page. We'll go to the Lex page, and we check all the waypoints with our flight plan.
Okay,
At
so
this
make
point.
sure all the 12s and
Yep.
aboves and all that all there.
All that is in there. So
Does it automatically do that for you as well, or did you have to manually do that all the time?
no, the 10 below is on the SID
Right.
itself. So it's in there. It's in
Oh,
the
okay.
database.
That's cool.
The only thing is, like, we have some kind of we have speed restrictions out of
Right.
Hong Kong, right? And you can't. The maximum speed is 220 until you get to like Ocean or let's say
Wow.
Tango Delta.
Okay.
So you see a fix at Tango Delta, and we'll put 220/5000A.
Oh, okay. Now I know why all
So
the flights are so slow. You guys gotta get a higher speed up there.
most of the time, once you make the turn, they give you high speed.
Okay.
So you're at 9,000 feet doing 320 knots.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Yep. Once you make the turn, it all depends on especially if it's a freaking little Airbus 319 in front of you. Those guys cannot do 320. So most
They
most of
can
the
do
time,
319.
once you turn and you're following like a guy, a small airplane like that, they'll probably tell him to go to about 280, and then they'll give us a speed restriction of 280.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, and most of the time when we take off at those weights, the weights we take off at 351 tons, which is the max takeoff on the ER, you are clean speed is about, I mean, 270. So we cannot maintain 250 below 10.
Right.
And in the US, it's okay because of our airplane, it's okay to do clean speed.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's
You don't
nice.
even need permission. You can just go straight to clean speed.
It's like a Hornet. They can
Yep.
do whatever they want.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. So, yep. At this stage, you check all the waypoints, and then you add whatever you need to add, and then
Right.
that's it. And then we keep going. The hold, we're not gonna really do anything there because we're
Yeah.
not holding. FMC comms, nothing. Um, and then we'll go to proc page. This is where we take the distance of the FMC and we put it on the we actually put it on our flight plan. Um, we write it on the flight plan just to compare with what
Okay.
the flight plan says. And sometimes there could be a difference of about 50 miles or so
Wow.
because we haven't put in the arrival.
Okay, that makes
Whereas,
sense. Yeah, that makes
yeah,
sense.
whereas our company flight plan has all the arrivals into it.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And again, it could be wrong because we're on a different arrival than
Mhm.
what the company has filed. Right?
The weather can change or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. So the next thing we do is come down to the NavRad page.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. And our company policy is we leave everything in auto unless you're coming out of Hong Kong where we have an engine out procedure off of 7 right. So we will load the ILS in there for 7 right.
Okay.
And then that's it. Otherwise, this is fine. Everything is in auto. But if you want, you can manually tune any VOR you want.
Right.
But company policy is to leave it in auto if you don't need it.
Does park ILS just mean the ILS is not on right now? It's parked.
Park means is off.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, park means is off and nothing will transmit.
Right. That makes sense. Or yeah,
Yep.
on a gate, trying to land.
Yeah. So now hit the NEF-REF button. So we're done with the FMC for now, right?
Right.
FMC is completed. So the next thing you do is your cockpit flow. All right, yep, we start from the overhead panel all the way to the left. And again, we did it before when we came into the flight deck, but we're gonna
Recheck.
really check all the buttons and stuff. All right, so at this time we can start the APU.
Now in sim, they don't let you hold it, but you hold it for 3 seconds, isn't it? To start or about, or do you just put it to start and it's done?
Yeah, what it is you don't want to go all the way from off to start.
Okay.
So we put it in the on position for a second, let the electronics come on, right?
Right.
And when you put it on the on position, what it also does is it opens up the inlet,
Right.
the air inlet. So you got to give it a couple of seconds.
Oh, okay.
I think it takes 30 seconds for the door to fully open. So
That's good to
Most
know.
of the time, when we land, what guys will do, the first thing they do is touch the APU knob and put it to the on position, and then do the rest of the flow.
Okay.
And when we're turning into the gate, then we start it.
That makes sense. Okay, so I've been
Yeah.
burning all the exhaust and inlets. They're gone.
Yep. So putting it to the on position, you're energizing the fuel valve for the APU. The APU door opens. So there are a couple of things that happens within like 30 seconds. So when you go from off to on.
I think the
Um,
door actually physically opens. Yep, there it is.
yep. Yep. There it is. It's open. Perfect.
Whoever parked me did a pretty interesting job here.
Okay, so now the APU is running, right? So we can select the primary off on the power. Yep, there you go, external power. All right, so now it says available, which means now the ground crew can
It's
take
off.
it off.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I can actually do that real quick. Get that out of the way. I'm gonna close my doors while I'm at it as well. Or do you want me to leave them open?
Whatever.
Okay, I'll just close them because I'm gonna forget. And I'm guessing you can't do this from the airplane, but magic of simulation I can hear.
That's awesome.
That'd be a cool thing actually in FMC. You just close your doors and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll get rid of everything but the wheel shocks there.
Shocks. Okay.
Do you turn this pump on, or does it just suck fuel anyways? Doesn't really
Nope.
matter.
That pump is the APU.
Right.
That's why the pressure light is
Has
off. Now
gone
the
off.
APU is using that pump to actually suck fuel from the wing. Right?
So if I do this or this, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Nope. Initially, the APU has a DC pump. Once the electronics come on, once you start, and then the APU generator comes online, then it uses that AC pump, the
Okay.
left forward.
So the
It's an
777
AC
just
pump.
like, oh, we'll put a switch there, but you actually have no control.
No. Well, not when it comes to the APU. Because
Well,
I mean, what do you need? What do you need to control it for?
I want to be in command.
It's one more thing a pilot will forget.
Right. You just leave it. You turn it on.
Exactly. The APU will shut down when you're not expecting it because
Yeah.
the guy forgot to push the button. No.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I agree with Bowen. Don't trust pilots. Okay, so once we get rid of the external power, we come down to the gens. Make sure that you have the off lights and the drive lights in there.
That means we're ready for taxi, right? We drive.
Yep, which is normal. No. You drive.
I'm full of jokes today. And turn the
You
Ram Air
are.
turbine on and call it a day.
No. You know what we call those switches?
Right.
The one on the Ram Air turbine.
Right.
Those are called the unemployment switches.
Okay.
Yep.
Are these
So-
unemployment switches as well?
Unemployment switches. You don't want to lift those up.
Yeah. Looks just about everything.
Unemployment switches. Yep. If you lift those up, there's something went wrong.
Yeah.
So
I agree. That looks pretty. Looks like every switch is covered.
so you go on the overhead panel, right? We're gonna do all 4 panels. So we just did the electric panel.
Yep.
We come down from top to bottom,
Oh,
making sure those
top to
lights are
bottom.
on, and then we go into the hydraulic panel. If we had forgotten the emergency light, this is the time to do it.
right.
Yep. And then make sure the window heats are always on. We always leave them on.
It's just
We
auto,
never touch
right?
those. Yep. And again, the Ram Air turbine, just make sure the unemployment switches are in
Closed.
place. Yep. And then coming down here, of course, the hydraulics are not on, so
Yeah.
you have to you see the fault lights.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
I have a
Here-
question on this when we come back to it later.
Oh yeah, we have a way of
There's a
actually
certain
pressurizing
flow.
it. I'll show you.
Okay. I think
Um,
it's right, left, center, but I heard that somewhere.
We do it right,
Yeah.
and then you go into the center. The electric pumps on the top.
Oh, okay. So you work
Electric
like
pumps.
this.
Yeah, we do a semicircle, and then come to the left to auto, and then the center air pumps.
Okay.
And those are the last thing that go on, right? And then to shut them off, it's in reverse order. The air pumps first, the left demand pump, and then you come up to the electric pump in the middle, and then the right demand pump.
Okay.
Yeah, so we do it in reverse order.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so we come to the passenger signs. We only turn the passenger signs after we're done fueling. Um, so
Done. It's instant.
done. Magic of simulation.
Yep.
All right. And then the
Sit down.
master brightness. That's the stupidest switch in the 777.
I was gonna say, because if you do this and you pull the little, then doesn't
Yeah.
it get unaffected or something like that? I forget what it actually does.
Yeah, I hate that switch. Because 90% of the pilots on the 777 don't understand what that switch does.
But okay.
And one thing that Boeing did on the 777 compared to 747, they dumbed down the lights. The lights on the 777 are horrible, horrible.
Like the backlighting green.
Yeah, the backlighting, the greenish lights, the background. I hate that at night.
It's a little like a Hornet.
Yeah, yeah. They did it right on the 7.4. So
Is he
coming
yellowish,
off
right?
the 7.4, I came on the 777. I was like, oh my god, this is horrible.
The 7.4 has the yellowish lights.
Yep, they got the yellowish
Okay.
light,
Yeah.
and we didn't have that master bright light in the airplane. So everybody got to do it themselves. Okay, so we finished that with the landing lights. Make sure they're all off at this stage. And then we go up to the fuel panel. All right. Here, make sure that the ignitions are in the normal position. Auto start is on. Again, up here, cargo fire and all that, those are switches we never touch. So you just look at it and and don't push it.
Don't push the test, or don't push this.
We don't test anything. Engineering tests all that system.
Oh, the engineers test that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. For our company, pilots they don't trust pilots to test.
Just
anything.
don't touch it.
Don't touch it. Yep. Do not touch it. So the cargo fire arm switch, again, we don't touch it. We just look at it and make sure it's up. That's it.
Okay.
The ignition buttons, make sure it's in normal, and the auto start on.
Right.
Again, on employment switches on the nozzles are there. Arm switch you don't touch. At this stage, the fuel pumps, you just look at them, make sure they're not in. And then again on the anti-ice panel, everything in auto. That's it. Auto, auto, auto. Back to lights panel, nav. Yep, that's good. If it's a night, the logo lights will be on, and you go to dim or bright. Bright in the daytime, which is fine, and then the rest off.
Okay.
Alright. Moving on to the air panel. At this stage, the APU is running, so we can put the recirc fans on and packs on. There you go. Yep. And all the other switches, again, they're in their normal position. Oh, this has a Casper fan, huh? I don't think we got a Casper fan. It's weird. So all these switches are in their normal position. We normally don't touch them. So we look at them, make sure they're in the right position. That's fine. All the way down to the pressurization, everything in auto.
Yep.
Wipers off. Okay, so you're done. We're done with the overhead panel. Now we move on to the glare shield. From left to right. All right. At this stage, again, the auto throttle arm switch is always on.
Yep.
All right, so we don't really do anything with that.
Take
Left
off.
flight.
You ever take off like that?
No, you don't want to do that. Left flight director switch on. We make sure the speed at this point is 200 knots. And then we're in the US, so it's heading. It's weird. We set heading for US, we set, and then everywhere else in the world is track. Right?
Oh, okay. That is a little
Yeah.
weird.
Because in the US, for some reason, and it's kind of weird because when I learned to fly, I used to teach my students to track the
Yeah.
runway.
Yeah. That's
But-
what I'm taught.
Yeah, but that's the way we teach it. We teach to track, but nope. In the far aim, it says heading.
Okay.
So in the U.S., you take off on heading,
So
and you don't care about the drift.
okay.
Yep. So we.
I guess it
we
makes
put-
the job for the controllers maybe easier. They can just give you. Or they
It's
get.
kind of weird because the rest of the world is track.
Yeah. The rest of the world's controllers are working harder.
It's easier.
Yeah, I'm not
Um,
sure. That's an interesting question to ask someone who knows,
yeah.
I guess.
So the bank limiter we leave in auto,
Right.
and then at this stage we'll put runway heading up there.
Okay, so I'll just tune that in quickly. I don't have the chart, so I don't know what the exact thing is, but I'll get it just kind of.
Yep, looks about right. Yep. And then we put in whatever altitude we've been cleared to, or what altitude we're expecting.
There's no ATC, so I'm going all the way up.
There we go. Set. Flight director on. Okay, now you come to the, you push the engine button. You check down there, make sure everything's still good. So here we do a crisscross, okay? Engine, and then we go to, go back up. Yep, so crisscross, engine, and cancel recall. Yep, and then stat. Make sure everything's cleared because your IDRU's aligned. So remember that TCAS thing? It's gone.
Yep, that TCAS is gone, and our APU is fired up as well. That I'm guessing.
Yep.
What's like a bad temperature to have here? This is in Celsius. What would be a bad temperature to have? Around like a 6? Or that'd probably be even too high as well.
Yeah, it's about 600.
Okay.
I mean, for starting the engines, it's 700 for the engines themselves.
Okay.
So yeah. Again, I'll have to look at the limit, but
Yeah,
APU
just-
is something that always worked. We don't really look at that.
Okay. It's always trusted. They should just
Yep.
put APUs to the wing, and then hopefully it generates some thrust.
That's it. We never look at that.
Yeah, 700 for
So-
the engines. That's a. I didn't realize they were that hot. I probably should have looked
Yep.
at the gauge a bit more.
So the last crisscross, so we did the stat and then checklist.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
so it's like
so you
this,
see how we do?
this,
Yep,
this.
crisscross.
Yeah.
Yeah. And checklist, make sure we have the pre-flight checklist. That's it.
Okay.
Yep. So come back up, and at this stage, we don't want the checklist up yet. Most guys will go back to comms, but you can put engine, whatever you want.
Sure. Do you guys normally change, each other's screens year round, or do you usually just have them in the nav modes for both, and then you just use the center? Or is it just pilot preference, it's whatever you want?
No, most of the time that switch will be in the center.
Right.
So if you want to change your screens, as soon as you're done, you have to put it back in the center.
Oh, okay, so the other guy
but-
can, yeah.
Yeah, but at this stage, what I'll do is I'll push the right, and then put the cam on my side. The camera on my side.
Oh, I'm not gonna do that because that crashes the FPS. But
Okay, don't
oh,
push it.
let's
Don't
see.
do it.
Let's see.
Oh wow, it worked.
It worked. Oh god. Look.
Wow.
Let's see what I'm at right now. I'm at that's 22 frames. That's actually not as bad as I thought it'd be. That's 22 frames. And then it's without
Okay.
that on,
Now
I'm back up to 60.
To the center.
Back to
Lowest
s-
center.
back to center.
Yep. Whatever you do, you can change whatever screens you want. As soon as you're done, you push it back
Center.
to the middle.
So that camera cut my frames in half.
That's not good.
Jesus.
Okay. All right. So We're done with that. Okay, come to the right side of the FO. Okay, so I'm flying. So no, up.
Oh, on the very.
No, on the glass shield. Sorry.
Yep. No worries.
There we go. If you want, you could put the VORs up. Some guys do, some guys don't, and then you set whatever distance you want on the nav. For takeoff, I always use 10, and then make sure your altimeters are set at this point.
Yeah, I just press B with auto sets it, but you would do that. You do that here.
Yep.
And then you can change it between. Sorry, you do that here, and then you change that between HPA and inches.
HPA, yep, and inches. Yep. All right. So at this stage, you move all the way to the right. Make sure that the right window's closed, and then it's locked.
Don't think I have the luxury of doing that, but yeah.
Yeah. Make sure that's actually 90 degrees. That's pretty good. Yep. And then you move all the way up.
You
and
check
then that handle. Nope, not that. Not
this
the
one right
tilt.
here?
Come up the window. The window handle for the right
oh,
window.
up here.
Yeah. Yeah. When the window's open, there's a red disc that pops up above that knob.
Okay.
So that's how you know the window's open.
Oh, I see. And if you
Yeah.
can't feel the air, then I guess you shouldn't be flying.
Well. Well, I've had that on a 7.6 where the captain actually left his window open on takeoff and it went zoop, slid back.
It went straight back.
Yeah.
Did it get closed again, or you had to divert or something, or
He
land?
was actually able to reach it and slam it shut.
Wow.
On
Okay.
takeoff. Yeah.
That's some power.
Oh, it was crazy. I was like, what the hell is that? Oh shit. His window as it goes full open.
Yeah.
The airplane is not being pressurized at this stage.
At
Ladies
least,
and
yeah.
gentlemen,
Ladies and
your
gentlemen.
ears are popping because the captain forgot to shut his window.
That'd be an interesting explanation to the boss.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, I was enjoying the moonlight and I left it open. And
Okay. So now you test your oxygen at this stage.
do 3 times. You do it
That's
once.
cool. Yeah.
Can you hear all this, or is it completely blank for you?
No, it comes on.
You can hear it.
I didn't hear it. No.
Okay, so yeah, so everything's because I hear like the AP running and all that stuff, and it makes a little oxygen sound like air's rushing out of it and stuff.
Oh wow. And then usually we'll move that knob to 100% and also test it again.
This one here.
Yep. To
Oh.
the emergency now. You move it to emergency, you test it, and then lights will stay on.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yep. See, and then the light stays
I
on.
never even saw that was a.
Yeah. So and then we slide it back into normal. Normal for everyday use.